go. Okay, so now, guys, we're going to talk about our... What do we need to do? One.
No.
Two, three, two, three.
No.
Two. Okay,
No.
Hey, guys, we're going to learn about muscles.
Two.
One. Blast off. All right, so that was our intro from Zach. So can you say hi? Say hi, guys. Hi, guys. All right, we're learning about our muscles today. Our posterior muscles that move the head and the trunk. We need to get some stronger muscles. We do. Gosh, we do need some stronger muscles. Let's plug the computer back in. Okay. All right, wheels are coming off. We're going to make it, guys. Okay, so right now we're going to wrap up the lab week talking about posterior muscles that move the head and the trunk. So we remember we just talked about the abdominal muscles, and the posterior muscles and moving the opposite to them are the erector spinae. So muscles that move the head and the trunk, specifically these posterior muscles, are the erector spinae group. These are three columns of muscles grouped together that work together, and we're going to talk about them. Basically, it's kind of one. We're going to look at the individual muscles and what are they called and where are they, but functionally, we're going to talk about them as a group. So we have three columns of muscles grouped together that work together, and I was doing this with stronger muscles. That's right, buddy. Stronger muffins. We need stronger muffins? We need some stronger muffins, guys. Okay, so here are erector spinae. These groups right here, we got 1, 2, 3 that are going to be on each side. These are the multifidus. We're not going to talk about those. That's the quadratus lumboratum. Not talking about that. We're just talking about the erector spinae today. So actions of the erector spinae. If you contract just one side, we're going to get lateral flexion where you bend over to the side. If you contract your erector spinae on both sides of the back, these are going to lead to extension of the neck and the vertebral column, and they also maintain your posture. These are some of those postural muscles that are kind of low-level contraction almost all the time, basically, unless you're laying down. And weakness in these muscles can lead to low back pain and chronic back pain. So the erector spinae groups are organized into three. The erector spinae muscles, are organized into three groups. The iliocostalis, and if we look at the root of that word, remember our muscle names often have to do with where the muscles originate and attach in sternum. Iliac, crest, and costalis, the ribs, so iliocostalis. These are the most lateral groups of the muscles, comprised of cervical muscles on the neck, thoracic and lumbar part. So cervical iliocostalis, thoracic iliocostalis, and lumbar iliocostalis muscles. This is really one long stretch of muscle fibers that's iliocostalis across different areas of the body. The thorax, the neck, thorax, and lumbar portion. The longissimus is called that because it's the longest one in the group of these three. It's comprised of a capitis, a cervical, and thoracic section. And the spinalis are the most medial. They're the ones right next to the spine. So spinalis, they insert onto the split. These insert onto the spinous processes of the vertebrae. So think back to when we learned about those vertebrae, the spinous process. Well, the spinalis muscles insert on the spinous process, and that's to help that spine to move. All right. So here's a nice picture. We're going to see a few pictures, obviously, here today of our erector spinae. So here are our erector spinae, and they are going to run the length of the low back and up into the neck and almost up to the head here at some point. So our iliocostalis group is out here. It's the group that's the farthest out, okay? Going from the ilium up to the ribs. Our longissimus is in the middle. That's the longest muscle that there is in this group. And our spinalis group is here right up next to the spine. And here's a nice, I like this view because it doesn't have all the other muscles in it. So you can see how the iliocostalis, here's the ilium, right? So the kind of posterior ilium, and on down here to the sacrum as well, and reaching all the way up here to the ribs, the iliocostalis. The longissimus right here on the lumbar part of the spine, all the way up here to the neck and all the way up here to the head. So really long muscle. The spinalis is right here attaching right to those spinous processes, those little the knobs that process off the back of each of the spine, off the back of each of the vertebrae. Oh, erector spinae. There we go. Okay, so when we look at the online software for this, it breaks the iliocostalis into cervicus, thoracus, and lumborum sections. Remember, these are all the same muscles. So we're going to click through these, just so I can show you where the little green parts are for each one. But remember, these run in a line from the ilium up to the ribs. let's go here. Oh, wait, gotta, one sec, guys. Oh, back to it. Oh, sorry, guys. You have a professor who's terrible at technology. I don't know what that was. Okay. All right. Iliocostalis cervicus. Remember, cervicus is going to mean the neck portion. Okay. So we've got to click through a little bit. And on the slides, it'll say click through. Sometimes I'll say click through to 1 through 3, etc. So we're going to go because these muscles are down below. Okay, so there we can see, here's our iliocostalis cervicus. There it is. I'm going to see how low we can get down there. There we go. So here's our iliocostalis cervicus. So the farther we click, the more muscle groups we get underneath. So here we go. Our iliocostalis cervicus, right? It's this long line of muscle from the iliac all the way up here to the neck. Okay, there's our cervicus section. Then we can see the thoracus section will be right there, and the lumborum section will be right there. So lumborum, thoracus, cervicus. Let's go back here to our PowerPoint. Okay, and I'm not going to click on each of these, but you guys definitely can as you study. All right, now looking at our longissimus. Let's look at our longissimus capitis. So again, we're going to need to go get pretty deep here on the muscle to see. There's our longissimus capitis. Okay, so longissimus, called the longissimus because it's the longest. So remember, capitis goes up to the head. And if you think back to the head and neck muscles, this also is in there. Okay, so part of the erector spinae is kind of folded into those neck muscles too. So longissimus capitis, longissimus cervicus right here, and then longissimus thoracus. You'll notice longissimus does not go all the way down to the iliac bone, but it does go down to the lumbar vertebrae. Some of these guys here. Okay. All right. There's our longissimus. Here's our spinalis. Oh, didn't like that. Okay. Then here's our spinalis. The spinalis is going to be short. It's going to be our shortest muscle that we're looking at here with the erector spinae. Again, we're going to click through a few to get down to it. So here's our spinalis cervicus. If you remember, that was also in the neck muscles. And our spinalis thoracus right there. All right, and again, y'all go ahead and I'll put the non-narrative versions up just so you can click through those links if you want to. Okay. All right. Now let's practice our erector spinae movements. We're going to do lateral flexion of the spine and spinal extension. Okay, we're going to go to a 14-second mark on here. Okay. What? Sorry, guys. Hang on. All right, let's try that again. Okay, so we can see that's side flexion or lateral flexion, how she's leaning off to either side. Okay, and then spinal extension. Okay. Okay, we're just waiting for this to load up here, guys. Is that, please be careful. Oh, this will work actually. Okay. Okay, so spinal extension, I usually think of it as when we're sitting up, but definitely could go to, that's what's happening, I'm skipping, okay. So now she's that spinal flexion that we see right there, and then when she sits up, we're gonna see some spinal extension in just a little bit. I may have timed the video wrong. Okay, here we go. All right, so as she sits up, some nice spinal extension. Perfect. There we go. I know that is such a nice relaxing pose, isn't it? Okay. All righty. And that's the end of our slideshow, the end of labs 1 through 4. So jump on over, complete the short assignment specifically with this little group of lab slides. And then also make sure to go through and complete and submit the identification spreadsheet that I'm going to load up for you too. And as always, email me if you have any questions. All right, guys, good job. Wash your hands, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon. Zach, you want to say bye to everybody? Bye-bye, everybody.